This is nice. This is nice. Where are we today, Sam?
My balcony.
Sam's balcony. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is comedian Sam Minney on the Hardly Working podcast. I think it's fair to say that we're hardly working right now.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. Just drinking our coffees on the balcony.
When I was supposed to have the day off, and then I have to go work at my old job that I just quit.
That's great. Yeah, you quit your old job within a week. They're like, "Do you want to come back and take a shift?"
I'm like, yeah, because turns out I'm broke.
Dude, you're addicted. You're addicted to the money.
That
Addicted to the lifestyle.
I just my one bank account is overdrafted right now, and I looked at it. You want to know what overdrafted it? And this isn't even the first time this has happened.
Oh no! Oh no! What was the charge?
Crunchyroll. My damn anime subscription,
dude,
has overdrafted my one bank account like 3 months in the last 5 months.
I'm gonna break your window. What animes are you following?
I haven't watched anything new in a while.
Dude, there's like websites. My little brother's like the king of like finding like the anime
No, I
leaking
know,
websites.
and everything I do watch is on Hulu or Netflix. But I got this damn subscription like 8 months ago, and I have forgotten to stop paying for it.
Sam, unsubscribe. How much is Crunchyroll subscriptions?
$10.
Which brings us to today's sponsor, Crunchyroll. So damn good, you should overdraft for it. In case you haven't seen all 2,000 episodes of One Piece.
It's kind of funny that $10 charge overdrafted my account too. That's
Yeah, what a financial situation to be in. What a blessing.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm just racking up credit card debt like everyone else my age.
I have another credit card on the way. Should be in the mailbox.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever get one of the credit cards where it's 0% interest for the first year and a half or 2 years?
I have that for my one card. This card has like a 26% interest rate.
26% APR.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what
Divide
I
that by
qualify
12.
for now.
So that's like 2% a month roughly. Math.
I don't know how anything
Huge.
works.
Is it a points card?
No.
Can you give us those 9 digits up top and those sneaky 3 digits on the back? Come on, Sam. You trying to leak your credit card?
One of them.
That's fun. Some people are like, oh, we leaked the album. Nah, dude, I just want to leak the credit card, man, on the pod.
They're all maxed out. You can't use them.
No, damn, really?
They're all maxed out.
Dude, you're in shambles. That's crazy.
I'm not in shambles. I'm in a character building arc where I figure out how money works and the value of $1.
Wow.
But you can't learn that until you've thrown it all away.
Yeah, or we've had a job. Speaking of the value of $1, you're like, I know you work in the service industry right now. Can you break down some of your... There's just a wasp here. If we seem nervous, I don't know if the camera's picking up. There's just a big old wasp.
So he's pissed off because they were building a home.
I see that there is an empty wasp nest on top of the door. I don't know if that's in frame, but I hope it is, that there's an empty wasp nest.
There was a big one right there like a week ago, and we had the guy come and smash it to bits. And
I'm glad you told us this after we decided to film outside.
Well, it's gone.
If we jump cut to inside on the couch, you know what happened. The wasp came in.
If we jump cut and it's only one of us left, it's because the other one got stung and had to go to the hospital.
My neck is bleeding. It's swollen. My eyes are
Have you ever been stung before?
Yeah, dude. I was stung in the eye in like 3rd grade. Have you ever been stung before?
I got stung by a bumblebee in my bedroom one time.
At what age? Like recently?
I think it was last week. No.
Last week, damn.
I was like, I don't know, maybe 10 years old. And my room was on the 2nd floor, and I had my window open because it was like the summer or whatever. And I was playing video games, and then I just felt like I got stabbed in the leg, and it stung me, and it got stuck in me. So I had a dead bee hanging by its organs and
Isn't that the worst?
Stinger,
yeah.
And I just screamed, and my mom came up, and she was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Ah."
Have you ever seen those YouTube videos where the guys like sting themselves?
Yeah, those little freaks.
They'll be like, "Oh," and they bring the insect out just to sting them. That's crazy. I don't get that. Like, I understand, I guess, spicy food, but that is like a level of just like, come on, man.
It's got to be a kink.
It's got to be. I mean, it's going to be crazy. Like, this podcast is technically job oriented, That's like, how do you enter that job? Because at some point, you're right. You're doing it for the love of the game. You're just stinging yourself on camera. You're getting 200 views of video. You're on the open micsing of the stinging video circuit.
I mean, it's just like a different font of jackass.
Can you? Sorry, you're right. Can you imagine like Dr. Pimple Popper, like the early videos, being like this lady had to be like, "Hey, before I pop your pimple, can I put this on IG?" it's like 2013.
I'll tag you in, I swear.
You're like, I'll tag you in it.
Before I bust open your gnarly cyst on cam.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, this is, I know I'm your doctor. I'm doing this also to build my Instagram brand.
I don't like pimple popping videos. I have friends that are into that and they say it's satisfying to watch. It makes me so
I don't get it either.
Physically nauseous and ill.
But here's the thing, it's like big enough now where it's like probably an easy explanation. People are probably going for that because like, you know, they are the pimple popping page in the perimeter.
Yeah, you wanted to hit as many P's as possible
Dude,
on that one.
I was pushing P. Come on now. That's pretty good, right? I get the laugh. Play up. That's funny. I'm gonna double check. I can't see if the camera's recording. I'll be so mad if it's not. I'll literally be furious. No, we're recording. We're so good.
Oh man, the world will never hear that pushing P joke.
Dude. yeah, we gotta clip that.
Travesty.
We simply must clip it. It's simply too good to not clip. All right.
Pull it up.
Pull it up, Jamie. Sweet. So you work in the service industry now. Dramatic shift in the conversation. What were some of your early jobs? Do you remember? Do you have any favorites or any ones with the Wasps back? Okay. If you're watching, no way, is it on me?
It flew away.
Holy fuck. I mean, this is the most dramatic episode of any podcast ever in the history of podcasts.
It feels like podcasting with a gun to your head.
This is crazy.
You know what? I bet I could stomp the fuck out of it.
Dude, literally, I'm thinking the same thing. Do we have like a fly swatter anywhere?
There's no fly swatter.
But here's the problem, though. It's like the risk reward of we're never going to get into the topic of this podcast, and that's all right. Holy hell. Fuck. It's back in the air. Oh, it's gross. Oh.
I wish...
You think you're tough and all, and then a wasp comes in the room, and you change character completely.
If I was a Disney princess, I want the superpower to talk to bugs and animals, because then I could tell it, like, there's nothing here for you. We killed your family.
Yeah.
And we threw out your damn furniture.
Yeah, dude. We didn't even want the house. We didn't even, the real estate wasn't even good. We did it for the love of it.
Do you remember those family portraits you spent a lot of money on?
Yeah.
Gone.
Gone.
Just like your kids.
Your mom, your dad, your siblings.
I would feel bad if it was like a gay wasp family, though, you know?
No, yeah, then you're a hero. During Pride Month, stop me. Who cares?
Not the gay wasps.
I'm setting the movement back. Gay people are a lot like wasps because they'll just keep stinging you even when you don't want them to. It's okay. Not all metaphors are good. And
starting now. Yeah, so my
job.
My early job history.
Formative work history of Samantha Miniature, aka Sam Minney.
Future employers, don't look this up because I lie on my resume.
Oh, that's so sick.
We had one mall, believe it.
In Buffalo?
Believe it or not, one mall in Buffalo.
Huge.
And I worked at American Eagle for 2 holiday seasons.
Whoa.
Neither time did they invite me back for a full-time position.
Is that how it works? You have to make it through Christmas and then they...
Well, you could just apply for seasonal work and then
Nice.
I had other people I knew that worked it and then they got asked to stay.
Wow.
And I'm like, eh.
And this was back when American Eagle was cool, correct?
Yeah, I think I worked there in 2015.
Wow.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Aeropostale era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I worked at American Eagle seasonally, and then I worked at Sears.
Huge. My brother worked at Sears. What department were you in? Because I think he went from like washing machines to like power tools.
They just had me upstairs, tucked away in the children's department.
Wow.
Second floor, I shared my workspace with electronics.
Huge. Huge.
And eventually, I didn't work there very long. They
They're
took
like-
me off the schedule. They didn't even like formally fire me. They just stopped scheduling me because I couldn't get anyone to sign up for a Sears store card. Like, no, I think I got maybe one person in my entire Sears career to fall for that shit.
Dude, I feel so bad when the person is like pushing it and they try like 2 or 3 times with you and you're just like, every time as a customer, I'm just like, you poor soul. Like, you poor miserable person, you.
My livelihood depends on this.
I need you to get the Sears card so desperately.
And I stopped working at Sears.
Classic. Do you have any like how long did you work at Sears?
I want to say like 6 months.
Was it just you by yourself? Do you have any memorable coworkers?
There was like 2 dudes that were brothers that went to my high school that worked there. And I think one of them went to school to be a doctor. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they play music over the speakers at Sears?
Yeah, I feel like it was just like generic pop music.
It was just top 40 radio.
Honestly, Sears, like I have no memories of Sears other than the way they fired me, which they didn't. And then my employee discount still worked for like a few months after that.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
But it's like, what am I buying from Sears? I was just buying like the
Kids'
flannels.
clothes. Or whatever.
Yeah, that is my 2 shopping
Wouldn't it be crazy if
options.
like you got an email and it's like, Sam, you're scheduled to work a shift at Sears because they never took you off the system. If they were just like, Sam, you got to come in this week. They call you up. They're like, I mean, you've just been really not picking up your hours recently. Like,
That Sears has been since shut down, along with the mall. The
Damn.
mall is closed.
yeah, most malls in America are. Rest in peace, malls.
That mall, its downfall was it had a food court with a carousel,
Oh, nice.
and then they just took the food court out and replaced it with a Dick's,
No,
and then it was never the same.
nope. That's where the mischief happens is at the food court. Did you hang out at the food court growing up?
Oh, I was a mall rat.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so curious about this. I'm from Iowa, so we had a mall in Cedar Rapids, 40 minutes down the street. We never went, but every TV show growing up in like the early 2000s was like just the kids hanging out at the mall. And I was like, growing up, I was like, I want to hang out at the kids hang out at the mall.
Oh, I was hanging out
And like
at the mall.
every 90s movie was like just the kids at the mall, and you'd see like these kids hang out at the mall, and we never did that. And I was always like, what is that like? Like, what? You just at the food court throwing food at you? Like,
No.
it's a cultural phenomenon that I missed, but every piece of media growing up depicted this thing that I never was a part of.
We respected the mall.
You respected the game?
Honestly, I feel like we did get kicked out twice. But it was like a group of like 5 or 6 of us, and our moms would take turns dropping us off and picking us
So
up.
cool.
And
So punk rock.
I mean, yeah, we were just like a bunch of delinquents. Like we would, as soon as we'd get dropped off, we would go back outside behind a dumpster and get violently high, and then just roam the mall.
Yes.
And then we would go into Spencer's and go stare at the dildos and be like,
Yeah.
"This is living."
I mean, this is it. We're doing the dildo thing for the 200th time. I mean, that is fun. No, I would love to be a regular
It's
at
like
a
a-
mall.
A sex shop aquarium. We just go and we look at the fish.
Yeah, because that's my thing is like everything was like, we're hanging out at the mall. But I was like, well, you're not buying stuff every time, right? Like, that'd be too many shirts.
We were stealing.
Oh, really?
We were.
That's so cool,
shoplifting.
dude. We didn't, well, I don't know. If we stole those from like the grocery store and it was like a pack of gum.
We would literally walk laps around the food court in like 30-minute intervals and get the free samples.
Really?
And then, it was just like one long hallway. There wasn't like
That's so
multiple
sick.
levels or anything. So we would walk from one end to the other. We would
Yeah.
just like fuck around in every store.
Yeah. This is a real story. We had a cousin who lived like in town, like in a city. And one time I remember for Christmas, it was like, we're going to go to the mall as a family for Christmas. And they'd be like, oh, well, I'll say his name. I don't think he cares. They were like, well, Zach hangs out at the mall. And Zach's like, yeah. And we were like, oh, that's so cool. He hangs out at the mall. The mall. We don't have that in Iowa. And then he was like, you guys ever hear of the Buckle Challenge? Are you familiar?
No.
It's Buckle. Their employees would like stop you. And so the challenge was you'd have to go in and try to touch the back of the buckle, like the back wall, before someone stopped you and said, how can I help you? And I remember we were like, this is so... And so we all went to Buckle and we were like, what do we even do? I didn't know how to peruse. I didn't know how to like be subtle. I just like walked in. I was like, I don't know what to do in stores. And I tried making the back wall and they stopped me and they were like, how can I help you? And I was like, no, I'm so lame. I couldn't do the Buckle Challenge. I was so bad. I just remember like, we were like, Zach goes to the mall and he was telling us like all these like things that they would do. We're like, oh, there's the Spencer's Challenge. I don't know. That wasn't one. Do you guys have like games you would play, like stuff like that though?
Not really. It was just us like we were really getting our steps in.
Yeah, I love that.
Eating Chinese chicken.
I was gonna ask what your favorite food was.
Yeah, there was a good Chinese spot in the mall food court that they took from us.
Panda Express or?
No, it was like local. Those Subway cookies in my body at that time.
Huge.
But
Dick's Sporting Goods took it from you.
It did.
That's really sad to hear.
When I was home last and my dad was in town, he just always goes and like checks to see what stores are still open there, and it's like down to one.
That's so sick.
And
yeah, it's just like a Yonkers or a J.C. Penney's. This is just holding on to dear life.
And then he said I have at least like 20 pictures on my phone from the last year of just like the mall slowly declining.
Really?
Which I feel my great grandma does her walking there, so she has to find somewhere else to walk.
Oh no, that's really like, yeah, I don't know. They got to figure out a use for all the malls. I remember we'd go to Westdale Mall in Cedar Rapids, and I remember like as that slowly died, being like, wow, like this place used to be like crazy. When I was like really young, we lived in Cedar Rapids, Iowa for 2 years. I remember like as a little kid being like, look at this Radio Shack.
Oh man, yeah, the FYE.
Huge. Huge. So, after Sears.
After my little stint in retail.
Little stint in retail.
I dabbled.
I love when people do that, when they make like their jobs, like they find the most sophisticated way of wording them. Like my brother does, like he works at a screen printing company and he was in town and people were like, what does he do? And I was like, oh, he's in the apparel space.
Oh, yeah, I'm in charge of cash handling and merchandising at a big name store.
Yeah, at a Fortune 500 corporation.
At this little mom and pop shop.
At a conglomerate.
But so I went from there, and I guess this is technically my first serving job, but all of my cousins worked at an assisted living facility, different from a nursing home.
Wow, Nepo.
Yeah, I was a Nepo baby.
Huge. In the assisted living space.
Well, so my grandma was part of HR there, so she was able to like help us all get jobs there.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget because I was always a little degenerate.
Yeah.
And so I was really worried because I had to take a drug test to work there. And so I bought one of those like detox drinks from a smoke shop. You know, it tastes like orange warm.
No, I've never taken a
Jell-O.
detox drink. That's very funny though.
Yeah, I'm like 17 years old, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna pass my
Oh
drug test.
Oh no, dude! I've been going to the mall too much.
I've been getting too high at the mall.
I'm not gonna make it, dude.
But so I was like, I'm willing to go as far as buy fake pee. Like I was really so scared about this.
Which you also get at like sex stores, I've been told. Not that I know about this.
But so I take the drink. I go in for my little drug test. They say it's going to take like a few days for the results or whatever.
Huge.
But then my grandma was the one that had to call me to let me know if I passed the drug test because it was like the last step of the hiring process. And I saw her name pop up on my phone and I just stared at it and I let it ring and I let it go to voicemail. And then I was hoping she would just tell me the results in the voicemail.
No.
But she left, like the message she left, and she just sounded grumpy.
Oh no.
And so I was like,
oh no.
Not only did I not get the job, like all of her coworkers are going to be like, oh, your granddaughter's
a drug addict.
Yeah, your little weed head granddaughter.
Yeah.
making the family look bad.
She's gonna get a septum piercing and tattoos.
She's gonna look like a prison lesbian. And so yeah, the message she left was like vague but like mildly angry.
No, no.
And so I was like, oh well, now I gotta call her back.
Yep.
And now it's
The old, can you call me
actually-
back, please?
yeah. And
Oh, no.
but then I called her back and she was like, so you passed, and so you just need to finish some paperwork and then you can start whenever. And
Oh no.
so I worked there for like 2 years total. I worked at that facility for a while, and then they had a different position at a bigger rehab facility
Whoa.
for like a kitchen manager. And I was
Were you always in the kitchen, or were you ever dealing directly with?
So at the
Patients.
first place, I was residents. The first place, I was a dietary aide, so I would just
Huge.
breakfast, lunch, dinner, serve
Yeah.
them food, whatever.
Force feed them.
And around this time, I was in college.
The wasp is back.
Yeah. So I was splitting time between college and then doing that, and then also that was my like second season of working at American Eagle. But
Huge.
so yeah, I was there for like over a year,
That's pretty good.
and
Can you
So-
tell any patient stories or?
there's really nothing memorable.
Okay.
They're all just like old.
Wholesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of them were nice, but then one issue was like people were like, it wasn't a nursing home. It was literally like people that didn't want to pay for like a home health aide to take care of their parents. They would just put them there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it was basically like apartments with built-in home health
Yeah.
aides.
Because I've had family worked in nursing homes before, and I've had cousins tell me that like, you know, that the men will just be like, they're 95, their wife's been dead for 3 years, they're just diabolically horny, and they will like slap ass of like, you know what I mean? And they'll say things, and they'll be like, well, I want to die. What's the worst thing you can do? I'm horny. I'm 95. I'm gonna slap your ass.
Yeah,
Like,
nursing homes have like the highest rate of STDs.
yeah. The wasp is back. All right, we're good for now. That's crazy.
That's our producer over there
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
third chair.
Hey, you want to get in on this, dude? All right. So next, what was after that? I'm sorry if you had something you were going with.
Stressing me out. So anyway, I ended up applying for the kitchen manager job at the bigger facility. And I
Nice.
didn't hear anything back for a while. And then it felt like 2 months later, they like reached out and they were like, oh, do you still want to come in for an interview? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And at the time, I want to say I was like 18, 19.
Damn.
And the interview, like, it's one of those life lessons that you wish you could go back in time and tell yourself if the interview goes too well and you get hired on the spot, it's because no one wants that job.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Sorry, what was the job again? The wasp just flew near my face.
so like with the same company at a different
Okay,
facility.
sorry, different facility. Gotcha. Okay,
But-
sorry.
Kitchen manager, you're fine. And so got hired. They only trained me for like my position, and pretty much like my second or third shift alone, everyone that worked there was like in high school.
Yes.
There was also a guy, I think he was the dishwasher. He said he had worked there since 97. I was
I love that for him.
born in 97.
Same.
I was like, oh, and I'm technically your boss right now. That's crazy.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I have a family member who's like that, where he has a job and there's like high schoolers getting positions over him, and I'm like, hey man, like,
But,
what are you doing with your life?
That job was pretty short-lived. I don't even think I made it 6 months there.
Nice.
Because, yeah, there was a day where a bunch of the kids called off, and I didn't know what they were responsible for, really.
Yeah, you didn't even know.
And then I went on my lunch break, and you get like 30 minutes. I went outside to my car and smoked a cigarette,
So cool.
and I came back. So I was gone for like 10 minutes, if that. And I came back in, and they were like, oh, we had to send the cook to the hospital. He was having symptoms of a heart attack. And I was like, so there's no one in there making dinner right now? They're like, no. And I was like, I don't know how to use anything in that kitchen.
Yeah.
And for the rehab facility, the food had to be served in like 3 ways, like solid, semi-solid, and
Yep.
liquid.
Oh no.
And again, so a bunch of the servers didn't come in. The cook had to leave.
Yeah.
None of the other kitchen managers were answering my phone calls or texts for help.
Oh,
So I
no.
had to call our boss, the kitchen director.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what's going on. Everything's falling apart, and I'm but a child.
I'm simply a little girl.
I'm like literally.
I'm just a little girl.
I was 18 or 19. Like I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And so she comes in. We end up just like whipping up like as many PB&Js, like blending them up and shit. Like
Love that.
just doing what we can. And then we get to the end of the dinner service and we realize that the dishwasher also never came back from his break. So there was pots and pans from breakfast and lunch on top of like just like a mound.
Yeah.
And
she knew like this was the moment. She's like, she's not coming back to this job.
So luckily I had interviewed at a different restaurant and got hired.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to try to do the 2 jobs, but then that all happened. And I already had my 2-week notice on my persons.
Yep. You were so ready.
I didn't think it was going to happen that day. Like I was still on the fence. But yeah, as soon as she locked up for the night and one of the other like servers stayed and like helped us with the dishes and stuff.
That's nice.
But we were there for like 4x, like we were there for like a ridiculous amount of time. And yeah, so as soon as she like shut the office door, I slid my little piece of paper under the door and she like no one brought it up to me. And
did you quit though?
Yeah, I gave my notice. I finished out my shifts. No one talked to me about it, and I just stopped going in after that.
Wow.
It was a very weird.
I love that. That's petty as fuck.
I worked at this place in a golf dome in Buffalo.
Golf?
Golf.
Okay.
Big dome.
Huge. We love dome.
Big dome that you hit balls in.
Classic. Mega dome.
There's a little restaurant in there I started working at.
Huge.
And
a golf restaurant?
there's a restaurant attached to the golf.
It's like the trashy version of like a country club bar.
Yeah. It was nasty. Actually, It wasn't the dirtiest kitchen I've worked in, but
Really?
it was fine. It was like very mid all around. Food was all right. People were all right.
Yeah.
Other old golfing men.
We love that. We love old golfing men.
And then that job again, I feel like I did not last long there.
Easy come, easy go.
I think I started comedy around that time, so I was just like taking every cut possible, like leaving early,
Just doing
like
mics.
swapping shifts, pursuing my dream
Grinding the scene.
of stand-up comedy. And
Yeah, you can't write any jokes about golf. Robin Williams did them.
I wouldn't even know what to say about it. I didn't golf. I just gave them sandwiches.
That's huge.
But that job, I don't remember if the money. I don't even think the job was really worth it.
Yeah. You're just trying to get out of the retirement space.
Yeah, I really needed to pursue a different branch in my career path.
Do you have a favorite job that you went to after this, or something that you really enjoyed?
Helium Comedy Club.
Cut straight to.
Yeah, basically. So, well, that job ended with. There was a day where it was like completely dead, and neither of the owners were there. It was like 2 brothers that ran the place, but I was like really sick that day, and the one like server who had seniority, she's like, well, it's slow tonight, like you're probably like good to go if you don't feel well.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm gonna go home. Like I had like a nasty cough or something.
Yeah, whatever.
And I go out to my car and I'm sitting there for a minute like getting situated, and one of the owners had like gotten back at the same time I was leaving, I guess, and he texted me and he's like, did you just leave work? And I was like, yeah, I'm sick. They sent me home sick. And he's like, we didn't send you home sick. And I was like, well, I'm still in the car outside. If you really need me to come back in, I can. He was like, no, we'll cover this shift and the rest of them too. And I was like, okay, bye.
Oh. That's so crazy. Yeah, I mean, I just did something like that happened at the comedy club where they were like, oh, actually, we're so good. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, whatever. This shit's so funny.
Yeah, it was a fun one because I don't remember. My mom has like instilled in me like you don't call off unless you're on your deathbed. So like I always feel so guilty if I call. So I like don't call. I maybe call off from a job like once a year, if that. Like, and I have to be so sick. So it's not like
you weren't faking it.
Not that I was like the best employee there, but it's
Sure.
not like I was like calling off all the time.
Yeah,
I was
you weren't
just
like
leaving
you weren't
early
a
and
problem.
like getting my shifts covered.
Yeah.
Which is all like reasonable things to do there. Like it wasn't like a busy restaurant or anything. But yeah, so that's how I got fired from that job.
Classic.
And yeah, that's around the time I started comedy, and so I applied to Helium after doing an open mic there.
Helium in Buffalo.
And then they hired me. And that's where I lived for the next 5 years.
Great comedy club. We love the Heliums. We love the chains. Book me. I would love to host.
Don't book him.
I'd love to host or do your little red rooms, your little small rooms. That's the dream. That's all I want. I just want to headline the little small rooms at clubs.
I want to do the club circuit, but in the smallest rooms
But in the smallest rooms. Give me your smallest little baby boy rooms.
We have a closet that seats 2.
I can move 3 tickets in every major city across America. If you can move 10, we will be fine. I'll make it work for a half-empty 50-seater.
Yeah, that would be a fun one to do. Just literally like shoebox rooms across the country.
But they're all technically clubs, though.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm above bars, but you're still doing shows for 10 people regardless. Hey, that's my dream right now, unironically. If a year from now I was just headlining small rooms at clubs, I'd be the happiest man alive. I'd be like, wow, I'm living the dream. I'd be posting motivational memes on my Instagram stories, being like, you can do anything you set your mind to. And it's just Michael Jordan, you know?
Just a grind set.
Yeah, just Kobe Bryant with things he didn't say, you know? You miss 100% the shots you don't take. It's Wayne Gretzky quotes over Kobe Bryant.
I had a dream.
Yeah, it's Kobe Bryant doing the I had a dream speech. Dude, I'm huge Kobe Bryant meme fan. I just get AI videos of Kobe Bryant doing other people's speeches.
Just like really motivational Obama speeches.
Do you have a favorite? So you worked at Helium. I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff you probably don't want to share, but I feel like 5 years at a comedy club, there has to be some crazy stories. Like, you know, I want to be like worst comedian, favorite comedian. Clearly, that's a little damning. Do you have any like crazy coworkers or your coworker ever do something? Unnamed coworker you can talk about, or are you still tight with that family?
No, I mean we did have like a really solid crew in the time I worked there. Like we were all friends and roommates and.
Really, you were roommates with your coworkers?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It started with I got my one roommate a job there before she lived with me.
Oh, nice.
And then we lived together. And then a girl I went to high school with moved in with us. And then after like a year, she got a job there too.
Nice.
So pretty much everyone like there was like 3 helium houses. It felt like of.
That's sick as hell.
Yeah.
That's like college. That is
together.
College.
I pitched it so many times. I was like, we should all just ball out and get like a big house. And just
that would be so
together.
sick. Yeah, because like, so sometimes comedy clubs have like comedy condos for comedians. How sick would it be if you guys had a whole apartment complex?
Just for the staff.
And then, but then one of the rooms is like the comedian's condo. And so like after work, you all leave to the same place. And like, where are you guys, like you're just following, you know, I'm trying to think of like some headliner home. Joe Machi is being followed by the entire staff back to a apartment complex that's just hell. Kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it was just my dream. There was like this nice strip of houses on Bidwell that were like
Bidwell, classic.
Big old houses, like 8 rooms. So I was like, come on, bunk beds.
That would be sick.
We go bunk up.
You don't want bunk beds in your mid-20s. You don't want bunk beds in your mid-20s.
I'm pretty sure 2 of the guys that used to work there are like living at one of their parents' house, sharing a bunk bed.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that for them.
They're fun. They were sound guys.
It's family.
Welcome to the Helium Comedy Club. When you're here, you're family.
Do you have a favorite helium story you can share, or are you? I can see real time filtering what you can and cannot say.
I mean, honestly, nothing really bad happened. There was like obviously a lot of like.
All right, who is your least favorite comedian and why is it? I'm trying to think of a name. Louis C.K. I don't know. Bar during COVID. All right, favorite place for stories.
This place was a nightmare. So again, bars are open until 4 a.m. already in Buffalo, and then they would have people like stay until 6 a.m. some nights.
And this bar was after Helium, or kind of while you were working at Helium?
While I was working there.
Okay.
So, well, because the club closed during COVID for a little bit, so I was working this job.
Also, the humidity, since we've been outside, is getting to your hair, and I think it's very...
Every cut is just going to be my hair getting...
Yeah, I love this. We're just
crazier
gonna,
and crazier.
we're gonna do a before and after shot of your hair slowly freezing. Not to make you feel self-conscious, but I just noticed it, and it is kind of funny. All right.
Cut my life into pieces.
This is my last resort.
Suffocation.
No breathing.
Don't give a fuck.
I don't know the rest.
If I come out, I'm bleeding.
Okay, anyway. So this job you worked at was hell.
So this fucking bar.
This fucking bar. It was a bar for fucking. It was a swingers bar.
Anyway, so that'd be grosser. No, it was just like a big Coke bar.
Huge. Welcome to Buffalo.
Cultured bar.
Welcome to Buffalo.
Welcome to Buffalo. We got cocaine.
And Josh Allen.
And so this bar was musty, dusty, crusty, yucky.
Oopsies.
There was a whole saga with rats. Like,
we love a rat saga.
We love a rat saga. So my favorite rat moments are...
Dude, give me your top 3 rat moments.
My top 3 rat moments are...
Number 1.
Coming in at number 3.
One
time, a rat, like, we had the front door open, a rat ran in, and the one owner, again, it was 2 brothers. Brothers love opening restaurants together.
Dude, I gotta hit up my brothers. I got 2 brothers, and we don't have a single restaurant in the family.
Brothers love having restaurants that fail and suck together.
It's simply too much fun.
It's just...
It's a great time.
It's a great bonding experience with your brother. It's just... failing financially together.
Rat story number 3. These 2 brothers are rats.
It's 2 brothers. They're rats. They're in a trench coat.
It's Alvin and Simon. Theodore didn't make the cut.
And they just love New Orleans cuisine. And
why is it? That's so. When you said 2 brothers, I literally in my head I imagine like a quintessential like New Orleans bar where it's just like, well, my brother there. Shall we start a business on the bayou? So Cajun-style wings and beer.
It was super authentic because, like, the floor was disgusting and sticky stones, and yeah, we have rats everywhere.
The Yingling brothers.
So rat story number 1: a rat runs in.
Classic.
And it's like they had like a piano in the front foyer. Yes.
Classic. I'm counting the rat stories.
Oh, perfect. I don't know if that's necessary.
All right.
I said I'm doing my top 3.
All right, set up. There's a rat. There's a piano.
Rat's behind the piano.
Classic.
And we know that. And so...
No, the location is known. Roger. The rat is known. We have its 20.
We have fucking walkies. And so the
rat gets on the walkie-talkie. It's me. I have your piano hostage. If you want to hear these keys in, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to start gnawing on the G chord.
It got to a point where it did feel like they were on staff, you know? Like, we were overrun with rats. Actually, I have 4. There's going to be a bonus rat story.
Sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting the piano story.
So, piano story. And so we have his location. And the one owner is just like, he cannot pass through that doorway any further. And so he grabs one of the tables and he throws it on its side on the ground to block it. So it's in the front little vestibule area.
Yeah.
And then he was like, all right, get a broom, everyone's spazzing. We're like trying to figure out. And the rat does manage to escape. The table was not stopping that thing, and it scurried off to whatever crevice.
Huge.
And then probably the same rat. I think the one owner, it was like personally beefing with one rat specifically.
I love this. No, it makes
like
the story
over the
so
course
much
of
better.
like weeks. And at one point, the rat was upstairs, and I wasn't here for this. We watched we watched like the footage back.
Yeah.
Because he did the same thing where the rat was upstairs and he put all of the tables down on the side trying to block it into a corner.
Yeah.
And then he just took a broom or something and beat it to death. And like
we love a good rat beating story.
like he was just like it was a fun video to watch. So one rat dead.
Yeah. The title of this episode is going to be Wasps and Rats.
And then, okay, so I guess the next few are going to be real quick.
Real quick ones. Zingers.
Real quick dead rat
One-liners.
stories.
Hey, what's the deal with rats? I tell you.
Another time I was not there.
I wasn't even there.
In the middle of dinner service, a rat like
I get no respect.
ran across the line,
Yeah.
like in the back, and fell into a fryer.
No. Ratatouille Adult Edition. Did it squeal or did it just go peacefully?
I'm imagining it yelled out for 3 seconds before it succumbed to its fryer burns.
Final demise.
Crispy rat.
Ooh, a crispy little rat.
New dinner special tonight.
A Chuck E. Cheese.
It's one of a kind. It's a deep fried rat.
We got Italian meat.
And literally they
Get
just
it? Because
pulled.
Italians are rats.
We're not going to be racist on this podcast.
Italians aren't a race. They're white. Get over it. They're white people who think they're better than other white people.
I don't want Italians lumped in with us whiteys.
Opinions are my own. Italians are rats.
Like,
And Sicilians too while I'm at it.
I don't want to be racist, but do not lump Italians in with us, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. Do not. Hey, the rest of us whites are perfectly fine not being associated with the Italians.
Hey, do not compare me to an Italian.
All right, so Rat in the Fryer, that's crazy.
Rat in the fryer.
Alternate ending to Ratatouille.
So I wasn't there. From what I've heard, they just threw the rat in the dumpster and
Kept frying in the same oil.
kept on keeping on because it's sanitized, you know?
No.
Nope. Another one real quick.
Quick one.
There was a Yelp review someone left. And they
Rat
were,
story number 3.
I know. It's going to equal out to like 5 rat stories
I'm
now.
going to keep going.
There was a Yelp review someone left. They like came in for brunch one day and she was like, a rat ran over my foot in the middle of brunch. And then goes on to say that her steak was overcooked. I was like, lady, I'm sorry. A rat scrambled across your feet and then you stayed to eat.
I love that for her.
You're eating inside. You're in the building eating, and a rat ran across your foot. And so our bad that your steak was overcooked. That was
no, the steak is within your control.
The chef was out of the kitchen at the time. He was running across your foot.
Come on now. Come on now. Hey.
Ratatouille.
That's a great more Ratatouille jokes. We can never get enough.
Jokes. What else we got? Oh, one time there was we had a rat trap right next to our little expo area.
Yeah.
And so when you walked into the back of the kitchen, it was like the dish pit, and then the expo area right on the steps was a rat in a trap. So it's
dead or still moving?
Still alive.
Classic.
You could like see its brain, like it kind of like
God, and they just don't stop.
Kind of scalped the rat.
It's God's perfect little menace.
And so you could see its brain kind of poking out of its.
But he was still kicking.
And he was still alive.
Crazy.
And I was like, "Hey guys, we're about to start seating for dinner. Can we do something about the half dead rat on the step?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we'll deal with it later." I was like, "What do you mean we'll deal with it later? I got to walk over this to go to the dish pit."
Yeah.
And then in the middle of dinner service, like we have tables in, and the one line cook literally put it in like one of those big plastic containers and walked it through the restaurant out front to one of the garbage cans. He just put like a
gone to the back door.
He just put a towel on it and then walked it. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
He closed its eyelids. Good night, sweet prince.
They paid him to kill the rats in the back.
That's so cool.
Because out back
just
we
collecting bounties at work, little side quests.
Yeah.
Hey, get the rats.
Our little garbage area in the back, because we didn't like have a huge back area and it was literally just garbage cans, but they would like set it up so if they went into the garbage can, it was like grease or water or something, so they couldn't get back out. So there would be like garbage can totes filled with drowning rats.
That's crazy.
And it was his job to finish them off.
That feels like a video game level in some sort of weird video game where it's like those terrible like movie video games And then late 90s, early 2000s would be like, hey, collect 5 rats to complete the kitchen level. And you're like, and they're all in the bucket.
It's as easy as shooting rats in a bucket.
Now you have to shoot the rats and you just have to solve a puzzle or something.
Come
on now.
I got a few more.
More rats, more rats. The people are craving for it. The chat's going wild, Sam.
During one of the COVID era where they kept like shutting down restaurants and like we could like do takeout only. So during one of the takeout only phases, we were like trying to,
dear Lord,
deep clean. You couldn't really clean that place. But
and this restaurant, by the way, the craziest part of the story is it is still open throughout the. I mean, you have like we're like 5 rat stories in, and it has not been shut down yet.
No.
Okay, is it still going to this day?
No, thank God.
Okay, sweet. like how many rat stories can you have?
This place is closed.
Yeah.
It's done for. It's cooked. I don't think either of those guys work in the restaurant industry anymore.
Thank God. The 2 brothers.
So it's a takeout only era of COVID.
Huge.
And we're trying to clean up the place. And so we're like just doing like takeout orders, and then we tried doing delivery, which was stupid. But every time I would go in to work one of these shifts,
yeah,
at the end of the bar underneath one of the coolers, there was like a ton of like dust and like rubble and stuff. Like I thought maybe the other bartender would like come in and like sweep a bunch.
Yeah.
And I was like, why does he keep leaving it in a pile? It's also funny to me that this went on for like 5 days where I would go in and be like, why does he keep adding more and more rubble to this pile?
Why isn't he taking it out?
Fully getting rid of it.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, the rats were tunneling through the cement underneath that cooler to get to the basement. So that pile literally was from the rats
cement
chewing through the ground.
That's crazy.
To get to the basement. And
I love rats' persistence.
So that was fun. And then fast forward.
Just a nice little rat pile.
We're working hard.
Yeah.
Fast forward to Helium is back open at this point, and I'm going
you walk back in, it's the same rat.
Full time there. And so I would just pick up shifts at that bar if I had like a night off or if they really needed someone.
Huge.
And I remember I hadn't been there in like 3 months, and we kept like a lot of like the bar prep stuff down in the basement cooler.
Yeah.
And I went to go to the basement, and it was like boarded off, like completely blocked off. I was like, hey, what happened to the basement? They're like, oh, the rats took over. I was like, so you just gave up the basement because all of the rats won? The rats won and stole part of
the war. we may have won some battles, but we lost the war.
So yeah.
That's crazy.
Rats won, us 0.
Classic.
We did take a number of them out, but yeah, they persevered in the end.
Huge. We love that. What a nice ending to that story.
And that's just the rats.
Do you want to end the podcast there? Do you have one more?
I have one more fun one.
Let's do it.
One, the urinal used to leak from the upstairs down onto tables downstairs. That was fun. Another time, the plumbing stopped working in the upstairs bathrooms.
Huge.
And so instead of shutting down the restaurant for the night, the owner decided to stay open. And so people were pissing, shitting, puking on the side of the building. We had a chef in a wheelchair at one point, and since our bathrooms were upstairs, he couldn't use our bathroom, so he was just back there cooking with a colostomy bag. And then our ice machine never worked.
Did he get the
colostomy
bag just for the job, or did he have it before?
I mean, I'm sure you could do both.
It'd be so much funnier if he didn't need a colostomy bag, and then when he was like, "Hey guys, can you put on a colostomy bag? I can't use the bathroom at work."
It's a tactical colostomy bag for
medical assistant.
And then so our ice machine never worked there.
Classic.
And there was a time I was working with this other bartender, and he had like a really short temper, and there was like 2 really annoying guys at the bar, and I was serving them at first, and then they pissed me off, so I passed them off to him, and then he tried to give them back to me. I was like, if neither of us want to serve them, we can just kick them out. And so he went to go give them their tab, and they tried arguing that it was $10 more than it should have been. And the other bartender was just like, I honestly don't care. I just want you guys the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And so he kicks them out, and I give it like 10 minutes because I have to go on an ice run so we can stay open and keep making drinks.
Huge.
And so 10 minutes goes by. I'm like, all right, they got to be gone by now. And the place was on a one-way street. And so I come out and I go to my car that's parked on the left side and I walk out. The guy tried to do a burnout on this one-way street and totaled his fucking car. So I'm walking past his car. His airbag is deployed. He's like standing there because he was like hammered when we kicked him out.
Yeah.
Totaled his car. And then I just still had to go to 7-Eleven, go get ice. So I just drive by. I'm like, fucking loser, your life sucks. And so go to 7-Eleven, get all the ice. And then as I'm coming back to go down the one-way street, there's like 3 fire trucks. His car started on fire.
It's one of those situations where you're like, well, at least it's not on fire. At least it's not raining.
His car was on fire.
So now it's raining. No.
And so I just pulled up my car. A bunch of regulars came out to like unload the ice for me while I talked to like the cops and firefighters about like what happened. And yeah, that's probably like my favorite like instant karma.
That's brilliant.
Moment where over $10, and it was like a nice car.
Poetic justice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And that is why you should be nice to your bartenders. Otherwise.
I love that. That's a beautiful moral to the story.
Yeah.
Let's wrap there. Sam, do you have anything you want to plug? Where can people find you?
At Sam Minney on Instagram.
Huge. Minney spelled
Minney.
Sweet. Well, this has been the Hardly Working Podcast. Bye.